different device than I normally use, so I just want to make sure everyone can hear, everyone can see, and we're going to deep dive in. This is a participatory session, so I hope that everybody will be part of the process of the experimentation, the exploration, and just really trying to figure out, what's possible. So I'm going to introduce myself and tell you a little bit about me. And while I'm doing that, please let me know where you are from, because these late evening, for me based in Los Angeles, these late evening sessions are really focused on trying to connect to educators around the globe. And I'm always trying to figure out the best time zone. So please share in the chat where you are from and what you teach. And without further ado, we're going to get into it. So my name is Michael Cohen. I am also known as the Tech Rabbi, and I am right now a Director of Innovation for Boys High School in Los Angeles. And I am in charge of the STEAM program. I oversee it, I develop it, I support the educators that are part of my team, and then I run an entrepreneurship program as well. I have 11 years now. It's crazy, the time flies. 11 years I've been in education, starting out as a graphic design teacher at Fashion Institute in Los Angeles, and then segueing into a pretty awesome about 9 years now in the K-8 space. And I am excited about this session because I'm always trying to figure out the ways in which Microsoft can support creativity, support choice, give students that interesting way of communicating information. When you look at the different platforms, you have Google, you have Apple, you have Microsoft, you have Adobe. So a lot of the great things that they do are sort of cross-platform, but there are certain standout things that each platform, each company sort of focuses on. And it's been really cool for myself to take a real deep dive into the power of Microsoft and the ways that you can support creativity. And I just think that that's something cool that I feel like a learner as I was going through this process, and really just my creative lens, trying to discover what is awesome and creative about Microsoft tools, especially ones that maybe we haven't used so much, the classic Word, Excel. Wouldn't mind just making sure that you're muted. But anyway, I'm excited for anyone that's coming in, even if they're unmuting. So thanks so much, everyone, for being here. It's cool to take a look in the chat and see that we have educators. Wow, New York, awesome. That's so cool that you're here, even though it is a little bit late. We have San Diego, we have St. Louis, someone from METC, which was a really cool conference in conference organization, ISTE affiliate, based out of St. Louis, that I actually had a chance to work with, and excited to have you here. And Las Vegas, awesome. So let's get into this. For those that are in here, you're most likely already connected with me on social media, but I just want to share that beyond Twitter, which is where I put a lot of effort, I am doing some really, I think, exciting things on my YouTube channel, so you can check that out. A lot of tutorials, a lot of conversations around creativity, and I'll be spending a lot of time over the next couple of weeks really trying to help educators figure out ways to keep students engaged and focused in a remote setting. Hybrid is going to be a whole nother beast, but in a remote setting, how do we provide opportunities like we'll do today to model that opportunity, model that creative possibility? And yeah, let's get into it. So what is possible with Microsoft tools when we talk about creativity? So I think that the creative thinking process is really important. And one of the reasons for that is that when we think of creativity, we a lot of times think of creative expression, things that we're going to do that are creative versus the creative thought process. And I think that one of the sessions that I've absolutely loved sharing, I have it coming up actually this Thursday, is really focusing on interesting ways to use PowerPoint to create experiences that you might not think you would create with a presentation software, which is basically like I'll be doing off and on throughout the next hour, is present information on this slide, move to the next slide. So you have this creative thinking process. Then there's the conversation and the communication. How can we use the software that Microsoft has created to have conversations and to communicate information in interesting ways and really support the students. We can support ourselves as well. I think one of the things that I love is being able to empower teachers to feel like they have a new way to communicate information. But a lot of times teachers are seeking out ways for their students to create, for their students to be active in the presenting information process and not solely relying on the teacher for that. That gets to the design and the making, which hopefully we'll be doing quite a bit of today. And then, of course, there's that presentation and that sharing piece. And one of the really cool things about Paint 3D, which is MS Paint, Microsoft Paint is what I grew up with. That brand, like Total Refresh. They're not even the same thing, but the Paint 3D has this really awesome 3D model feature where you can create 3D models, you can export them, and then you can embed those 3D models into PowerPoint presentations. And that's just super awesome. So that's what we're going to be focusing on today. So the creative apps that we're going to talk about, one is Microsoft Paint. It's really called Paint 3D, so that is a typo. And Microsoft Photo Video Editor. I think the video editor in Microsoft Photos is pretty interesting because you would never think to go into the photo sort of manager to find a video editor. We all remember Windows Movie Maker. That was like a classic mediocre software platform, and they did away with it. I think because they're building something new, and hopefully this is sort of a precursor to it. But I wanna do a little bit of a live demo and kind of show you ways to utilize it. It's not a full-blown software, and it's important to note that. What I want to share with you right now, and I'm just going to pull out, I'm going to pop out of this and just paste this in the chat, is I'm really into sort of collaborative processes, especially with these presentations. And this is actually, oh, why is it so big? That is horrible. Okay, cool. Well, and it's not even, hold on. This is, we're trying to be way too tech savvy. Let me just go and share the actual link because that is, not exactly how I envisioned the link pasting in. All right, there we go. Pasting a normal clickable link. Okay, so if you click that, that's going to bring you to a PowerPoint slide deck. I'm going to now actually switch my screen over. I'm going to share my entire screen here. So you should be able to see that. And I wanted to just brainstorm with you because I think context is always super helpful. So I tried to create a little sort of brainstorming kind of post-it design in PowerPoint here for us to use. So the first question is, how could the Microsoft Video Editor be a tool in your classroom? So as I said before, context is super helpful. If I start talking about the way that Video Editor could work in my reality, that could be helpful to show you like, oh, hey, Video Editor, that's cool. I'll explore that. But sometimes it's really nice to actually get some insight into maybe how you might be able to utilize it. And then I can sort of use that as the context. So if you want to go over, you just basically select, make a copy, but not copy the slide. Yeah, cool. Someone's doing it. Awesome. Right, or you can just do a text box. You don't need to be fancy, but basically copy the little post-it note, and then you can change it. And you can just type, and we'll do a little bit of brainstorming here. And yeah, you could change the color if you want. I wish it was this cool. I actually use a platform called Mural, but not everybody has access to Mural. So I was like, oh, maybe we could do a little bit of post-it brainstorming in PowerPoint. It is not a perfect process, but it is a process nonetheless. If you have any questions, you can always let me know in the chat. So I got ASL students can create demonstration videos. a couple other people posting. So I'll check in with those. If you want to get to that link, it's in the chat. You could just, make a text box. Like I said, let's not make it complicated, but we're going to deep dive into that. So I'm going to open up the Photos app, right? So you just go to the search bar and you type Photos, right? And you would click that app, and then it's going to pop up. You have your photos here, and then you have this video editor. And you can create a new video project, or you can import. You can actually make a video for me, which we can check in just a second. But let's get into this one that's already been created. And I'm gonna just, let's see, I'm gonna do this and that, and then, oh, awesome. Yeah, thanks. Go team. Someone is collaborating with me and helping me make sure everyone can get in the chat. Okay, awesome. So I got the chat over here. Okay, so this is how it works. Now, I'm all about being transparent. So I think that this is a really cool platform for individuals that don't have a strong video editing background. I happen to have a very strong video editing background. So sometimes it's hard for me to remove my own reality to then figure out how a little more simplified platforms can work. But I think that for younger students, this could be a really powerful tool. And for schools that you have Windows devices, you don't have a Wii Video subscription, you don't have access to Adobe software, this is a really, really slick way to go about creating. So what you do is you have to add from your PC, you can add from the web, you can add from a collection, and you could actually record using the camera app, right? You could record a video using the camera that's on your device. You could also record content on a smartphone or some other device. And you have this sort of long conversation that's been created, let's say, right? This original video that I created, I think it's about a minute and 30 seconds or so. So here's where it gets a little bit complicated. And this is, we're just kind of like in the planning conversation point right now. Let me just double check here. Okay, so showing, explaining the flow process of a concept or skill, collaborating in group, flip lessons, kid reflecting assignments, mini documentaries, have used a bit like editing tools with Microsoft Stream, was a movie maker user in the day for sure. ASB making morning announcements, cool, awesome. Just loving the brainstorming. The brainstorming is my oxygen. So thank you so much. Awesome. Okay, so when you add one ginormous piece of video footage, it is a little bit tedious to cut it up. And since it's tedious, I tried to use that as an example. But if you had students creating content and you said from the beginning, you're going to do, little 10, 15-second videos, and then you are going to combine those together, and you can trim them and shorten them. But when you start trying to cut up one long process, it is a little bit difficult. And I just want to show you real quick. If I would drop this in, right at the end over here. Okay, so this original footage, 1 minute and 43 seconds. So when you drop footage in and you select it, okay, you have this blue line. And if you would like to, you could open on your device the video editor, so you can just sort of move through the process if you have some random footage to just kind of follow what I would do. And if I was in a room right now and we were doing a Microsoft training, so I would definitely be on a tablet. Like I have a Surface Go and a Surface Pro, so I would be like on my tablet. I would be walking around. I would be connecting with you. So since I'm not here, I would never deliver a lecture on how to use tools in creative ways or in any way. So if you can open up yours and sort of follow along with me, that could probably be helpful. Oh, and thank you again, Taylor Ann. You are my chat savior, and you are pasting the link Jacqueline, if you just came in, it said in the chat. I think also we have Elizabeth as well. So if you did not see, there is a link to a collaborative PowerPoint document, and it looks like we've gotten some cool conversation in there. So back to the video editor. So, and just to confirm, everyone can see the video editor. I'm on high alert these days that like I'll talk for 20 minutes and it'll be showing like the teams. Okay, good. Everyone. All right, awesome. It wasn't 20 minutes. It was like 5 minutes the last session I did. I have too many monitors hooked up, so I'm doing one monitor right now. So you bring in your video footage here, and when you click on one of your clips that's in your storyboard, so there's a couple options that you can do here. So I'm going to take a look right now at the trim. Okay, so the trim is basically, you got a video, you need to cut it down because nobody wants to watch 25 minutes of you talking. Let's bring it down to short bursts. So one of the pieces of feedback that I've gotten is that my students, and I think this if it works for the high school, I think it's going to be even better for the younger students. If I could talk for 5 minutes and then have them do a 5-minute activity and then talk for 5 minutes and have them do a 5-minute activity, engagement is much higher than if I'm talking for 15, 20 minutes and then they do an activity. They're disconnected. So you got to break everything up into little bite-sized pieces. So especially if you're doing flipped lesson, give them a 5-minute intro, and then right when they come in, they can have a task ready to go and they can start doing it. It's I think a much more effective way to go about it. So you hit that trim, okay? Now you see it's 100. It's 1 minute and 43 seconds long, and you have these little handles, okay? So the handles are the way that you're going to trim the clip on each side, okay? And this right here is just like where you're at in the world. Okay, and you can move this around as one piece, and you can just decide, you'll play it. I'm not going to play it because it's always weird for me to play my own video content when I'm demoing. But you'll basically move, and you can adjust, and then you could be done. Okay. Now, one of the things that you could do if you have this big piece of content is you can right click and you get a couple different options. I actually like this, remove black bars. You're never supposed to record vertically unless you are on social media, okay? When you're on Instagram, when you're on Snapchat, when you're on TikTok, you can film like this. The rest of the time, you always film like this, and you can film like this, and you bring it into any video editing software, it's going to have black bars. So when it says remove the black bars, it's not actually removing them. It's not that sophisticated. It's zooming in until the black bars disappear. With Flipgrid, I believe Flipgrid is also vertical is supported because it crops it in a square and makes it a grid. But yeah, you could also have sideways or vertical because yeah, Flipgrid is a square, sort of like an Instagram video, not live, but Instagram if you were making a video for an Instagram post. Okay, so you could go to split, and what you can do there is you could actually play your footage and say like, okay, I know at 23 seconds I can split, and then you can see here it's telling you the split is it's 1 minute and 43, 23 seconds, 1 minute and 20 seconds. I hope this isn't basic. It's just I'm letting you know where things are because you might not be aware or you might have not noticed. Even sometimes I don't notice things and I'm using this stuff all the time. So you can then split that clip, and then it's going to split it into 1 minute and 20 seconds and 23 seconds. And that's actually what I did over here is I split the clip, and then in between just about each one, I created a little title card. So you can add text onto your design, or sorry, on your clip, your actual video clip. So you can add text, and I was using the adventure theme, and you can actually do a bunch of different layouts. yeah, I think this one's kind of neat. Anyway, so you can explore. It's definitely cool, and you're not bound by one theme. I actually like that. If you're in, iMovie, the theme is the theme. So that's a pretty cool, pretty cool piece. So you can add in, full title cards. You can add in titles or text on top of your image, and just obviously that's the best picture of me right now. I'm having fun here. I hope you're having fun. So there's that. Then the motion, it's kind of interesting. I don't know. I haven't seen it. I mean, maybe I'm using the wrong kind of footage if I was using like action footage, but I haven't seen these motion pieces be absolutely stupendous. But I just want you to know that they're there. Yeah. Someone said what a one up on iMovie. Yeah. So like I got to be honest. There's no way that video editor is anywhere near iMovie or Adobe Rush. I think it's kind of on the same level as Spark Video that Adobe has on their Spark platform, which is also free. But I think that if we can be simple is better. So once again, you're on Windows devices, your kids are on Windows devices. Forget logging into Adobe Spark and it's not set up with your district. You got to message your tech director for the district. Hey, get us set up with the free Adobe. And look, I love Adobe. I do project work with Adobe. I'm a huge Adobe fan. I've been using Adobe since I was in high school. But if you're on a Windows device, you got to give this a chance. Then there's the 3D effects. Okay, so these are like kind of nerdy, kind of silly, and kind of awesome. I definitely made confetti shoot out of my mouth at some point. I believe it's right over here. Yeah, there's literally confetti shooting out of my mouth because why not? So how do you go about that process? So I'm going to mute this clip here because I really don't want to hear myself talking as I'm talking because that's going to be disruptive. But I can add a 3D effect on this. And you have like all these different ones, right? And look, some of them are cool. Some of them, it's like, I don't know why you would do that, but you know what? Let the students be creative. We could use the party laser. Okay. Now you can move it around. Okay. Pretty awesome. You can move it around. Oh man, my eyes are. This is like, I'm just trying to embarrass myself right now. I think that's what's happening, and I'm being successful. But I'm also trying to have a little bit of fun. It's late here, and we are talking about creativity, so it's got to be a little wild. So you can move these around, right? And whatever. So thank you, Kathy. Someone in the chat, Kathy, is an awesome. She's my Microsoft mentor. She says I'm totally awesome right now. Okay, cool. So you can add that, and then you can set how long the laser beams shooting out of my mouth are going to go for, and then you could sort of go along that process. So let's say we could do it like that long. Okay, so now oh no, which one was it? Oh, here it is. No. All right, I'm just gonna make these all muted because like that's just too much. Oh. Yeah, and then there's music, and there's actually good music. The stock music on all of these apps, iMovie, Adobe Spark, it's like super hokey. So there's like a cool rock song. But anyway, pretty simple, straightforward. I'm not going to spend much time on this because I'm going to get into 3D Paint, which has like major awesome potential. But you should just know 3D effects. There's some cool filters. You could do like pixelation, which I like because especially with student privacy, if you want to have students, showcasing and expanding their audience, but you also want to be COPPA compliant, you can actually like arcade or pixelize them. I think that that's cool. And then the final piece is just, the speed. So this is all, pretty much simple. You do your finished video and you're good to go. And you can also add you can add custom audio. Okay, so that is that's video editor. I think like the main wow factor for video editor is really going to be the 3D piece of it. Like I just think those 3D models is super cool. So if you could come up with creative ways to utilize that, I think that's super duper awesome. Okay, so that's video editor. Okay, now let me just get onto my my soapbox here for a minute and we're going to talk about Paint. Microsoft Paint. If you haven't used Paint as Paint 3D, right? If you haven't done that, so you might have thought of Paint as like this very hokey, silly design software. I mean, it's not design software. It was a cute thing in like the 90s where you could like, I don't know what you could do, but it was a joke. I mean, it really was the silliest type of creation software. You would actually use it to be silly. I think the coolest thing is probably the stamp tool, but at the end of the day, it was super basic, and it's gotten a major refresh. I mean, it's literally not even the same. It's literally not even the same. It is something right now. Okay, I want to show you this right now. Okay, hold on. How's it doing? Oh. Aw, that's sad. I thought you could do it when you were playing it. I'm probably doing something wrong. Anyway, here is this is in Paint 3D. Okay, this is in Paint 3D. Okay, you can create, and you could also paint, but you can create these designs in Paint 3D, and it is like legit insane. Legit insane. Yeah, this is not. Someone said this is like, it's like Atari. It is like Atari. And yes, this is you know, my children call my mother Bubby. It's a nickname for a Jewish grandmother. So if this is like, it's not your Bubby's PowerPoint. This is not your Bubby's Paint. It's crazy. And then what you can also do is you can have the students create 3D designs. And then I actually made stickers where if I would share this design with them, they would have to label the proper parts of the Earth's core. And I don't know, I just thought that that was super rad. So we are going to we're going to get into that. Is it better than my Bubby does not make gefilte fish. She's more of like a Moroccan salmon. But yeah, so the gefilte fish, you know, it's definitely not the one from the jar. So let's get into this right now. But before we do, I want to actually no, not there. No, where am I going? Trying to share. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's good. No. All right, sharing whole screen. Okay, all right. So here's another brainstorm. So if we could hop on to that, and I'll get the link in there again. The link to our collaborative doc. Pasted it again. So if you could imagine, Paint lets you create 3D models. It lets you create really awesome photography and photographs and just all around some really, really rad things. So what could you imagine happening with 3D Paint in your classroom? And let's try to be specific. So if you say students making 3D models of what? Is this in English? Are they making models of the scenes from a book that they read? Are they making 3D models for their math class? Is it for science? Is it for history? Yeah, that's cool. All right, so we got 3D models for elementary students, to, or ES, I'm not sure what ES is, work on volume and could do a visual representation of the problem. Okay, good, elementary. That's what I thought. I wasn't sure. I was like, elementary, okay. It's all good, thank you. So yeah, you could just change, completely changes the labeling of the cell. Yeah, actually, I was trying, I do a bunch of different cell activities where I support freshman biology, and I was trying to make a cell in here, and then I just decided to go with the Earth. But you could totally do a cell, and there's some really awesome ways. I'm still kind of learning, so I was trying to do like 3D in space labels that when you would like rotate it, the labels would be like also kind of floating. So I had a little bit of trouble with that, but if I would have spent a little bit more time, I think we could have gotten into it. So I'm gonna open up Paint 3D. And for those who don't know, I am an avid rock climber. Been climbing now for almost 2 years. It'll be 2 years this October. And up until the pandemic, I was climbing actually all over the country at different rock climbing gyms during my travels. But one of my dreams, well, I don't ever plan to climb El Capitan in Yosemite. One of my dreams is to climb in Yosemite. And I took this picture in Yosemite, and you can actually use the Magic Select tool to create a layered separation of this design, and then, or sorry, of this picture, and then, oh, doesn't like me right now. Hold on. Yay. Okay. And then you could do some really cool sort of designs where you could have things floating in space. I don't know. I just thought that was cool. But anyway, I'm going to move into some of the other things that I have created for this session. So as it's loading, you have a tool set up at the top. You have brushes, you have 2D shapes, 3D shapes, you have stickers. You can create stickers by selecting things, and stickers like to stick on things, so that's super cool. Just getting back into over here, a model of erosion and deposition for 4th grade science. Things you create in Paint 3D can even be exported as 3D files and shared in Merge VR. Yeah, so that I haven't done yet, but as you can see here, as the project is loading, I'll just stop sharing for a second. And you can see over here, got my merge cube. I didn't buy 500 when they were on sale, but nevertheless, I do have. And yeah, so I'm excited to sort of see what's possible with those objects and beyond. Beyond the 3D model integration, like into PowerPoint, which I think is super awesome. All right, model of the solar system, absolutely. Creating stories and settings when writing their own narratives, yeah. You know, one of the things that I did years ago, so we did this thing called coding your story, where it was we used Writer's Workshop for 1st, 2nd, 3rd grade. So the students would, instead of drawing the picture, students would code the story, and then they would use that coded process in Scratch Junior to then write their story. And it became this incredible process where the content was so rich that the students had so much more to write about, and students who were really struggling, even with drawing a picture, because they didn't have that confidence, right? You have to have confidence in drawing to then write about your drawing. So it enlivened the writers. So I'm wondering if you could do Writer's Workshop where students would actually create that 3D model of the scene and then write about that scene. So this scene right here is, I'm just gonna share my screen now. This one actually took a while to load. I'm not sure why, but anyway, so here we are. Okay, so this design here, I'm just going to hop into the 3D realm. So you have mixed reality. Okay, so with mixed reality, you could actually do some pretty pretty interesting things. And I'm trying to explore ways. I almost feel like Prezi Video, where it has like the overlay where like things are kind of floating around you. So I could deliver like a talk with content that's in Paint 3D and have it, you know, interacting with me instead of like the slides and like I'm in the corner. It's kind of awkward. Also clearly labor intensive. Oh, interesting. Actually, I've never tried to do that. So if I'm live streaming with my camera, so then I can't do the mixed reality. Noted. I never tried that. Okay. Anyway, back to this process. So I'm going to pop into the 3D view so we can move around this area. So I created this entire environment. And one of the really cool things about Paint 3D is you have these 3D shapes up at the top here. You can open the 3D library, a bunch of things that have already been created, and things like that you could create yourself in Paint 3D. Little bit cumbersome. I'm not there yet, so I'm not going to pretend like I am. But you can start to hodgepodge things together. So this all started with like one mountain range and one little area of grass, and I then ended up, putting it all together and creating a really cool. Actually, I guess that's a subjective statement, but for me, a really cool sort of nature landscape, and then you could actually bring in things like, can sharks live in fresh water? Huh, a shark. Oh, look, there is a shark. Check that out. I will bring said shark out of the water. Hey there, shark. So one of the cool things that I absolutely love about Paint 3D, and for those that haven't, I'm just going to pop the chat open again. Hold on. Cool. So one question, did you say these can be manipulated while presenting in PowerPoint? Yeah, so I'm going to have to explore that after we do this sort of experimentation. So you should open up Paint 3D. When I was in presentation mode, I was having a hard time adjusting. I don't know if Kathy is still in here. Maybe she can share in the chat or on microphone. Feel free to mute yourself. If you can manipulate the model in the midst of the presentation. I thought you could, but I maybe was doing something wrong. So we'll get to that in a moment. I like that you can paint on objects, right? And so I can actually select my brush here, and I can go over here and I can say, I'm going to decide, the dorsal fin, is going to be. I'm actually just going to make it orange so that it really stands out. Okay. And what you're able to do, and I saw this a couple years ago, actually at ISTE. And I was blown away because I was like, wait a second. Now you can have students, instead of doing like a boring worksheet where they label a shark, the parts of a shark, the parts of a bird, the parts of an animal, they can actually color annotate it. And then say the orange is the dorsal fin, right? These are the gills are over here. So I believe that you have to be in full screen presentation mode for it to work. Oh yeah, I'm doing a window presentation, just the one window, so it's not full screen. Yeah, so you can distribute the PowerPoint for students via Teams. You can also, I think, you can do PowerPoint live and have the students interacting with it, or no? I might have made that up. Anyway, so yeah, there's just super cool ways that students can go about this. Anyway, so yeah, I just think that's super cool, and that's that. So you can draw on things. Here's my eagle. So I was like trying to, create parts of the eagle. Obviously, look, there's a creativity stylistic piece of this that's super rad, super awesome. But just the idea that you can create these environments, and you can go in, you can open 3D, And there's just dozens. Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah, let's dozens of different. All right. So if I was going to bring this fish over to the talons of this eagle, there's definitely, oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on. Yeah, there's definitely some funny, look, it's 3D space. I don't know if you like ever use Tinkercad or Google SketchUp. I do love, this is a really cool feature. If you zoom out and then you put your mouse wherever you want to go, so it's going to like automatically zoom right there. So that's always nice and helpful. All right, so we're going to go over there. Oh no, fishy, where'd you go? The fish. You think the fish is over there, but the fish is not there. See, there's this like really cool laser that like lets you sort of know. So close. It's so close, yet so far. Anyway, I don't want to bore you with my attempts, but it's definitely got some potential. It's a flying fish. It's a flying fish. Okay, all right, we're making progress. Okay, it's officially, unofficially in the talons. Okay, it happened. You saw it here first. It's just in one talon because like that's like this eagle is a boss. Okay, it's a one talon kind of person. So, you know, just for one last hurrah over here, you'd be like, keep our land clean. I know that's like obviously an oxymoron a bit, but I just wanted to show you like you're legit painting. I don't know. I think that's super cool. Okay, so we're gonna do a new canvas here, and you have your brushes here. They're all pretty straightforward. You have your thickness, you have your opacity. Each one of these does a very different texture, and then there's like matte, gloss. There's like metal sort of style coloring. Then you have your 2D shapes, right? So 2D, you could do some lines, some curved lines. This is like a 5-point curve. Then you have your 3D shapes. I love this doodle. You can actually go over here, with the someone was mentioning like the solar system. Oops, hold on. Pressing too many buttons at the same time. Oops, hold on. So you go to select, and then I'm getting crazy over here. All right, that's kind of weird. Hold on, let's try this again. There was a way to change the thickness. Never tried to make a loop before. All right. Well, you have this 3D doodle. I got my pen here. And this ribbon is kind of interesting. You can change the thickness. It has all these different styles. I have like a sort of my undergrad was actually in printmaking and design. So you can actually I don't know if you see this this little timer. So the timer is like you only have a certain amount of time. And then you just, you could adjust it, you could move it around. And then you press the checkbox, and now that's like drawn. I don't know. I think it's totally crazy, super awesome. And then you can always move things out from that background, you know, the canvas. You can actually like remove the canvas totally if you want. And you can set these all up, you know, on the canvas level. You know, the 3D library, as I said before, you know, we searched fish. There's, you know, dozens upon dozens of different fish, and you know, other really awesome, you know, Microsoft products, right? Like you could have the students like construct the perfect classroom and then do a writing assignment about like why this would be a great, you know, classroom for social distancing. You know, I mean, really, sky's the limit. But there's a lot of super awesome model themes that you can go in, and then of course you can search as well. So that's the 3D shapes. And then one of the things that I love is this sticker, right? So with the stickers, okay, so you have like some preset random stickers, you have some textures, and then you have your own custom stickers. So let's say I was going to create, you know, an animal cell, right? So I do like a half dome. I don't know why I'm picking this color green. It's really intense. So I was like, oh no, never mind. Let's just like sort of chill it out, or maybe since it's not a plant cell, quote unquote, let's make it red. Okay, so then you could change the angle, you can change the size, you know, you can move it around. Okay, and you actually have the ability to create, I'm going to zoom in here, right? To create different different components. So let's say like, whoops, it's funny. I want it to actually be like that. Okay, cool. So then when you're doing a design in one of these, like the tube or any of the drawing, until you press the checkbox, if it's present, it's going to group those all together, and then you know, then you can bring them in. So there's this like kind of cool, like weird 3D piece. So it's like it's showing you down here at the bottom with those dots, like where it is in space, and then it's also giving you the z-axis as well. So then you can, you know, then you could change the angle, you know, and things like that. And like in the beginning, it's a little bit cumbersome. I mean, you're watching me struggling with it, even though I've been using it now for months. But you know, there's hope for all of us. So you could do that. You could go into, you know, and you could do, you know, a design like that. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Hold on. Hold on. I'm just trying to find. I hear this is what I was trying to do. Okay. No, why is it doing that? Hold on. Here. Okay, this doodle here. So you could do like. And then you could change that to you know, a green color. And then when you're in the 3D environment, you're like, okay, it's like really far away. Let's bring it over here. Let's bring it up. So it's kind of like with Tinkercad. In the beginning, when you're using Tinkercad, it's a little bit confusing. Hold on, doesn't like that. Sometimes I don't know, it's weird. Sometimes it just it's a little bit crazy. All right, here we are. Okay. Is that like a floating cell part? Yeah, it's still floating. There we go. Okay. All right. So anyway, you could like, I mean, the sky's the limit. You could do like just totally crazy kind of stuff. So someone asked in the chat, to my knowledge, these can't be shared and worked on together yet, right? So if I would save this right now, so I can save it as a Paint 3D project. Now I could pass this on to another student, but I think what you were asking is it cloud-based like so many other software solutions that we're used to, where you could share it and it'll be updated? So that you cannot, due to my knowledge. But I like being wrong if it means that people get to do cool things. Now that was with the 3D on the 3D. Now, one of the cool things with the brushes is if you made this design here, you could then go in and you could say like, you could just like draw right on it, right? And then that's like, right, that's drawn on, right? And then one of the things that I did, is like, how do you spell it? I can't remember. Golgi is with a G. Yeah. Okay. I'm not crazy. I feel like it's been a long time, but we were just doing this in the fall semester of last year, right? I'm not going to pretend like I know how to spell. Now, here's the thing that was a little bit difficult for me, okay? If I want to create this line right here, okay, and then I want to select it, I can rotate it, but I can't get it like flying around to hook onto here, which was a little bit annoying for me. So I didn't yet figure out how to do that. So if anyone knows, share in the chat. But I wasn't able to figure that out. So with the labeling, one of the things that I saw that was cool was if you wanted to select this in the background over here, you could then make it a sticker, right? And then, whoa, didn't want to do it. Hold on. Okay, fine, whatever. We're going with the flow. But now this is a sticker, and this is crazy, right? This sticker is going to move around the object, right? So then, if one of these, which I don't think any of this is the Golgi apparatus, is definitely showing my, oh yeah, that's right. I knew I was like, did I make it or did I not? So the green is the Golgi apparatus. So you could go over here and you could even have it like on the side over here. Whoa. Side over here, like near it. I don't know. I'm just trying to like be cool, right? So there's definitely some super awesome kind of things that are possible. And then because this is 3D, So that's on there. And then, oops, and it's locked on there. And then you can select a bunch of things, and then you could just group them so that they're not moving around and annoying you, that everything's like flying around. No, come on, what? That's weird. All right. Oh, maybe, oh, it didn't actually select. You can't group all that? Come on. Yeah, okay. It's like, I love live demos. You group something like 20 times, and then when it's time to show people, it like doesn't work. So I don't know if that was some weird glitch. I wasn't selecting it all, but yeah, so that's there. And then you could just, get rid of the text after, and you have these stickers, and it's super cool. So that's sort of the rundown of Paint. I just wanted to hop in real quick over here and just take a look. Let me share my screen again. See if anyone else added anything. Solve the Outbreak Game from the CDC interactive challenges. Yeah, so you could have students like seeing things that are happening in the world and then trying to like create their own. Model proportions in 3D in middle school history can create timeline of the revolution, American Revolution. Yeah, and it's like they could create the timeline with like little visual models along the way of like things that are happening, and that's just super rad that it could like literally be 3D. Yeah, so these are all super awesome and super awesome. That's the bottom line. So let me get into the, hold on. I'm not sharing my screen. Okay. Awesome. So we got about 2 minutes left. I'm just going to wrap up and kind of share like kind of what next steps are. So next steps are experiment, explore, do some cool things. I wanted to share that I wrote a book, if you didn't know, Educated by Design, and it's all about that experimentation, exploration, and extracting of creative potential. It's not enough to just know how to use PowerPoint or use Paint 3D or use video editor. It's about looking at ways in which you can engage your students, you can give them creative empowerment, and you can give them opportunities to do great things. But don't forget yourself. You also have opportunities to do super awesome things as well. So this book is filled with my 10 principles of creativity and actionable steps at each chapter. We're actually starting this Wednesday book study in my Facebook group. So if you are looking for creativity in your inbox, if you are looking to connect with the community of educators that are always trying to push the bounds of their creativity, so I want you to do the following. I want you to scan. Of course, it froze. I'm supposed to have the QR code at the end. Hold on. It is frozen. I'm going to copy that again. All right. So if you can scan this QR code, if you can scan this with your phone, so that signs you up to my Connect form, which I will then use to share resources. I can send you the link to the Facebook group, and it also will let you just stay connected with me and also connected with the Confident Creator community. So thank you for sticking with me this evening. I know for some of you on the East Coast, it's quite late. I'm not sure where everybody else was from. It seemed like most people that entered in the beginning were actually on the East Coast. I mean, sorry, on the West Coast. So that was cool. We had people connected here. So let's be in touch. It's always great to have all of you. And yeah, let's just stay connected. And thanks so much for being part of this.